Hello and welcome to the Honey-Do List channel. Today we're going to be talking about caulking. Do we use a tube versus the handheld squeeze tube? And also in the way to cut it, put down a fine line, and clean up after you use it. Some of the things that most people, when they think about caulking, they think about the old metal gun and how to use it. There is some tricks to it that make using it a lot easier. So with that said, let's take a look over here what I have. I have these two tubes of caulk. You will need something to cut the end, and a lot of times a wire. The newer model caulking guns actually have a piece of wire mounted right here that you would spin out, and there's a aluminum piece of aluminum foil or seal right here on the inside of the caulk tube. And once you cut it, you'll need something to poke through it to allow the caulk to come out. A lot of times I see people and they cut it, and they cut the whole end off way up here, and they have this big massive hole in it. And then what happens is when they go to try to do a fine line against the trim, it ends up being a big tube, big round cylinder of caulk, and it takes them, they just make a big mess. They get it all over their clothes, their hands. I'm going to try to show you some tricks today on how to do it a little easier. One of the tricks is you want to cut it small. They actually have numbers on here: 1/8, 3/8, 1/4, and 5/16. While most trim, you're only going to need less than an eighth. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you cut it at a good angle, and you want to press hard. Okay, and that's what you'll end up with: a small hole in the end. And then you'll take your wire down here, you run it down there, and you poke it. When you see the caulk on there, you know it's popped. We're going to go ahead and cut this other one while we're here, just so we can show it. Also, I don't know if you can see these rings, but if you cut it at this notch right here, that's a wide, big hole. So what you want to do is come a little bit in front of it, and right here you'll see there's like a little ring all the way around. That whole end right there is usually solid. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right here like this, and we're going to try to cut. And you can see that the tube is very flexible on this one. These are good. See how big that tube is, that opening is? That's only good for if you're going to do big openings. And I noticed this one doesn't have an aluminum in the inside. This is some stuff that I got, and I'm going to show you the pros and cons to it. This is a big hole versus the littler hole. You can see the difference in the ends of them. Okay, and I'm going to show you why that you don't want this big of a hole versus this size hole. Alright, if you take this one, the ideal purpose of it is you take it, you roll it in your hand like this, and you squeeze until it comes out. Alright, so we're going to go right here. If you can see, we have a gap right here, which is a good size gap. So what we're going to do is you're going to put the hole down to the 45-degree angle that you cut. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze lightly. Okay, and right when you start to see it come out, you'll see it starting to come out around the tube. You pull, and you try to go non-stop through the whole area that you want. And if you start seeing gaps, you'll see air bubbles and stuff like that. Okay, and then you stop. Okay, and the trick to it is, you'll see that I have some gaps here due to air bubbles. So what you do is you take your finger then and you pull it. What you do is you'll see that it'll fill in the hole nicely. But now if we can get down here, you see that there is a lip here and a lip there on the wall. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a damp rag and you're going to wash it clean and smooth. And we got a little up here in this corner. We'll get out. Put our finger back over it. Now you have a nice smooth even bead of caulk. So now when we come back and we cut this wall in, it will literally look like this is all one piece. And that's what you want. I mean, the whole ideal of it is to make it smooth so you have no gaps. Okay, with a caulking gun, let me get it set up. If you can see this, they have notches on them. These notches is so every time you pull the trigger, it will advance. See the notches cut in it? And what you do is you put the notches down, and when you squeeze, it advances the plunger forward one time. That is a lot of caulking pressure coming out of the end of the caulking gun. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you how to do that. You insert the back of the caulking tube down first, you lock it in the groove here, and then you push it tight, and then you start squeezing. And as the caulk comes up near the end, what it's designed to do is to keep a steady pressure. Okay, and if you watch it, it will keep advancing caulk coming out of there due to the notches here. So what you want to do is anytime you're not using it, you turn that around, you put the notches to the top, the caulk stops. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we'll start with a nice clean add to the trim, and we're going to pull. We're going to get a little pressure going, and then we're going to pull nice and smooth. And as you see some ripple, I'm going to pull a little faster. You'll see that it'll either tear or it'll start getting this ripple effect like this right here. And what that's from, right here, we were getting ripple effects. And then when I tore right here, it's because I was going too fast. If you get ripple effects, it means you're going too slow. And if it tears apart, that means you're going too fast for it to stick. So what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to wipe it clean. We'll wipe it clean with our finger, and then we're going to smooth it out. And something just like that. Okay, where we can see where we got a little thin at right there. Just take what's already on your finger and just kind of smooth it out. Yeah, well, I hope that these little tricks have helped you out in all your little caulking needs. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this up and finish this honey-do list and move on to the next. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, hit your notification icon, and also leave a comment for us. If there's a project that you would like to see us do or you need some help on, please leave it in the comments section and we'll be sure that we answer every question. So let's get back to that honey-do list.